This is a time for some interaction between you and the artists who are on Zoom. So I may request you to come here so they can hear you. If you have a question or a comment or a compliment, please come here and speak into this microphone, and they will be able to respond to you. And Chow Yu-Fa is here as well. Do you want to begin by just saying something while people warm up? Yes.
No, I don't have much to say. I just want to say thank you, Teju, and to all the musicians, physical and virtual. Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Please, whoever, or friends of the musicians, admirers, fans, please come and say a few words.
Thank you very much. When you make a comment, you don't expect to do standing up in front of everyone. But for Zoom, I am taking the leap. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the music very, very much. I know a little bit of the Chinese music, which I have heard in Hong Kong while living here. And the mix is so beautiful. I have always enjoyed fusion with Western music and Indian classical, but this has been a marvelous experience. The last poem has touched me very, very deeply. I can't express, but I would like to translate it into Gujarati if you have the time. And I only read the English, of course. I can't read the original, but it's beautiful. Thank you so much. I think it expresses the confluence of cultures very well. The last one, the presence and the absence going away. Because I live here, home is somewhere else. The last verse, which talks about, I want to go, but I'm coming back, but I'm going. It's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Teju forces me to say something. I'm Yu-Fai. Thank you for being here. At occasions like this, I always feel being somewhere outside and inside. I write. I don't play music, and I don't sing. So when I see them play musical instruments, they sing, I always feel very, very envious. And I do not know whether I'm part of them or not, but I actually enjoy this kind of ambiguity. And like the potentials offered by this ambiguity, I don't have much to say apart from that I'm very honored to be part of this project. And then one of my old songs was used for this recording. When New Century comes, we play again. It was written in 1997. We all know the year of handover. I penned the song primarily thinking of the city. So when I hear my colleagues perform this song, when I hear my own voice recite, I miss all of you dearly. I miss all those who are not here today. I think we can do a lot with technology. You see, the albums, they were recorded across all these continents. Teju explained to us that is possible. We have delivered. But at the same time, we miss a lot of being together. I think we all miss the sense of being together. Thank you for being here today. I just wish that when the new year comes, we can play again and be together. Thank you.
Hi, so I have just a simple question, and I'm sorry if it's something that has already been discussed as part of the Saath-Saath Project. But during the while watching the documentary, I noticed that there was a moment when they were practicing tones of the lyrics, and since Cantonese is such a tonal language, I was wondering what is the process of like developing the music with the kind of with the singing, I guess, and what is that negotiation like of the music and the. I'm not being a musical person, so I'm just kind of curious about that. Also, because I think Teju, you had mentioned that Zarifa had invented a term for one of the, or was that what you had said? You had said something about inventing a tone or something at some point.
I wish actually there would be some people with technical expertise to be with us all the time. Like, for instance, to look at our translation and collaboration process from a linguist point of view, from a musicologist point of view. And I wish I could have written down more notes about how I try to find the Cantonese words for these melodies sent to me by my Indian colleagues, but I haven't done so. But you were absolutely right. When I got the demos from them, I just felt that I was incapable because they sounded very, very differently from typical Chinese or typical Cantopop melodies. In a very, very rough sense, their melodies were freer. So I do not know how to explain that in a technical language, but so allow me to be maybe a bit more poetic or abstract. So I feel that they are offering me something from tradition, but that tradition is not a giant. It's not a forceful thing. It is more like a fairy, a spirit. It's free, but they are there out there, and then they're inviting me to find the Cantonese words, and then they are somehow like weaving a costume for this tradition. And then when they get together, then I hope that they are sort of visualizing a dance for you to hear. So this is the closest I can explain. There's some kind of technical things that, like, I don't know how to call it, but the Indian way of singing has a lot of this gliding or inflection way. Like the last song, then you can hear 當去就能浮來. 當去, the way they perform 當去 would be quite different from, I think, quite different from a Chinese or Cantonese vocalist, which I love, because the 當去, that it is the kind of solving movement, which is made so vivid by the Indian way of performing. It was fun.
Since my friends are all saying, how do you respond to the music? The one thing I must say is that this type of intercultural creativity is actually from another space. And I really feel that sitting through this concert, it's actually gone to a different room in my head. And I'm sure when I'm not, when I can catch myself unaware, sing these tunes in my head in this special room. And this room is actually quite far away from this mundane experience, whether in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Bangalore, or Jinzhou. And I think this is really the gift that Teju has brought to us by being in Hong Kong. And many of you know, she has been in Hong Kong teaching Lingan University, working with many students for the last 4 or 5 years. And she has also been doing projects far beyond, stepping beyond the boundary of what most intellectuals would do. And I've attended some of her projects, I've tasted some of her projects, I've listened to some of her projects. They taste delicious, sometimes have very funny ingredients. And she had this big project with an intercultural exchange between Indian food and Chinese food. And but you have, unfortunately, that is for another day for the audience here. And she has been instrumental in making things happen. And I think opening up the minds of people from Hong Kong and Shanghai and China. And Teju has worked with many curators, intellectuals in China since she first came here to give a lecture. It was in 2010. And she has published a lot of writings in Chinese, and she has given lectures mostly in the art-related art academies. So for the last 10 years, friends from Asia, from Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, Okinawa, and she's been working on this Inter-Asia project, trying to give us inspirations about the experience of being in Asia through a lens of her intellectual curiosity and also expertise. So I'm very grateful to have, I feel very lucky to have had her in Hong Kong for the last few years. Unfortunately, she has to return to India next month. So you're also very lucky to be here for that regard. And I hope her friends will all have, most of the friends who have from the university or musician friends who are here, perhaps want to say a few words. Please.
Thank you. I really enjoyed listening to the songs. I was wondering, can each of the people in the collaboration talk about how this collaboration, what insight into your own practice did you have through collaborating with each other? Yeah. Did it change something in the way that you approached your own practice?
Can everybody hear me? Okay. First of all, congratulations, and I'm talking for everybody here that we really miss not being there with all of you there. This is a very special moment for us. It's a journey of 4.5 years now. In terms of my practice, one thing that I think grew within was about placing and being aware of the flow of traditional music or music as practiced in a very historical context, thanks to Teju, you know. So to constantly be aware of how culture, society, everything has impacted the music that we practice. Apart from its spiritual, emotional, aesthetic angles. And I think one thing that really opened up was the idea of a pure sound. What is a pure note? The way to look at a pure note has changed in this meeting of these two music for me. And also all the dialogue with the artists from China and Hong Kong has expanded the way even the dialogue between the Indian musicians have shaped. to look at our own practice from against this backdrop gives a very different picture. And I'm sure more than what I'm articulating, a lot of this has been absorbed into the being and reflects in my practice, and to also learn how to be a collaborator was something that's a big learning for me. To what to expect when we look at two artists coming together and there's music created. Sometimes unexpected things happen, and to then readjust ourselves and look at it with a very fresh ear is something that I think is a very precious learning I got through this entire process of interaction, creation, and also to see them take shape as albums. And a big thanks to Teju. I think Teju, with the level of enthusiasm and curiosity and hard work and dedication that she has definitely been a great inspiration and motivation for me. Anybody else?
So I completely resonate with what Bindu has to say. Can everyone hear me? Yes. So it's been a special journey, and I would just sum up saying just one thing, that when we try to understand the other side, it is indeed an opportunity for us to understand ourselves also in a better way. So it's a two-way process, and I think with this dialogue, this was an opportunity to explore in such a beautiful way. And I really thank Teju and all the musicians who helped this conversation shape. And it's a surreal experience when, at this point of time, when I revisit this journey, and it has been a special one. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Omkar here. Can you all hear me? Yeah. First of all, thank you to Teju, thank you to Johnson, thank you to Chow Yufai and all the wonderful musicians who I was very privileged to work with throughout this past 4.5 years. My father always says that it's always a learning experience. And he says that especially when you're teaching somebody, it is more than teaching, it is co-learning. Because when you express an idea to somebody and they accept and they reproduce, it would come from their perspective, from their culture, from their background, which allows us to learn from them. So it's a huge process of co-learning, and I think it's a very, very enriching experience to interact with every single musician on this tour. And all those things that I have learned has gone into my practice, and that will stay with me for the rest of my life. So again, miss being there with all of you today, and feel very privileged. At least I could be on Zoom with all of you today. Thank you very much.
Would any of the others like to say anything?
Zen, shall I, Kimho?
我现在开了吧。嗨，大家好，现场的朋友们，你们好。我是哲来，我是来自中国的北京。我是刚才我看到大家在现场的播放，很感动，就是通过这样一个方式，能够跟这么多的朋友在线上进行交流。我参加 Saath 这个项目，音乐艺术项目有2年多的时间，特别的感谢 Teju 教授给我这样一个机会，然后能去到印度，班加罗尔 跟病毒还有Rituja还有还有 Master 老师，然后我们一起学到了你们的文化里面的那种美和真正打动人心的那个部分，我也学到了很多。同样，我也有对比，从我们中国的 vocal 的不同的方向，传统、现代，还有民间，不同的音乐形式里面，然后我也感受到了一些声乐的传统技巧方面的一些改变和探索的空间，也给到我很大的这个帮助。我现在自己在做的音乐也是从我们中国不同的这个民族的语言里头去找到一些动机，然后回到这个语言的本身去探索这个世界。希望我能有机会带我的音乐去到印度和去到香港，然后能跟在座的朋友们一起分享我的声音的一些想法，然后也祝福我们萨特的专辑在希望有更多的朋友能够感受到这个交流的意义。再次谢谢大家，没有啦，谢谢陈韵。谢谢。
Okay, I say a few words as well. I hope you can hear me well. Yeah, first, just would like to say thanks to Taeju. It has been a wonderful 3 years journey, and also I have learned a lot also with this opportunity to travel to India, also work with the 3 singers together, to learn more about Indian classical music. And just to respond to the question earlier about practice, yeah, there has been a lot of new input to my practice, one of which is, of course, in this recording we have made in Hong Kong. At the end of this journey, I'm applying the Indian version, the Santur mallet that is normally only used on the Indian Santur, onto the Chinese Yangqin I play. And that means a lot of things, because I want to apply my experience of hearing the difference of the music, the different way of ornamenting of the music in the Indian classical music onto the Chinese Yangqin. And so I think it really gives me new insight in this intercultural project. And I do hope that in the future we have more this kind of intercultural project between China and India, and also between Bangalore and Hong Kong. Yeah, thank you very much.
Zen, would you like to say something, either in English or Chinese?
Okay, hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank you, Taeju and Johnson, to support me to the Bangalore to study Hindustani music with my teacher Onkaji. Yeah, after the Bangalore the trip, I really feel I find a way or a door get into the Hindustani music. Before I was learned the Hindustani music, or I don't know what is called that. Maybe it's not Hindustani music by myself in China, but I always feel so get lost. I didn't find the key to open the Hindustani music store. When I met the Saath-Saath people, Lutuja, Bindu, Onkaji, and another lady called Lalitaji, right? So you guys all taught me a lot. Especially the Onkaji, he just like the light to help me to find the way to touch the raga. So now I can compose some how can I say, the real Hindustani music based on the classical ragas. So I feel so excited and so happy. Thank you. Yeah. That's all.
So I think maybe to wind up the evening, may I call on Surabhi to speak about the tortures she has undergone?
Hardly torture, but bewilderment for sure. First, of course, thank you, Teju and Johnson, for really, making this quite incredible and very unique project come true and come alive and transform into something beyond anything that we expected as fellow travelers. I had the privilege of actually being a part of the travel, but as an observer. So it was quite fantastic. And I think for me, in a sense, looking on from the sidelines, the key takeaway for me is not just a question of two cultures coming together and some kind of an amalgamation of two cultures. For me, and as a filmmaker, when I was going through my rushes, what I found was this amazing capacity for musics to listen, not just the musicians, but for musics, and to be able to expand, to accommodate. So that there is a way in which that movement back and forth between listening, between silence, between confusion, and then moving on to some kind of a balance or finding that moment of rest, finding that moment of the next beat or the next sound that we can move to. That for me is what I think is incredible. So I feel this is very distinctly different from any other kind of fusion music. I don't see this as a fusion project. I really see this as a project of both musicians and musics stepping outside their comfort zone and finding ways of then dancing around each other. It's been very difficult going through the material because every second seems absolutely stunning. But how does one take it forward into starting from here and ending there? I keep telling Teju that I'm struggling because my material keeps going round in circles. And I think as a filmmaker, I'm not a musician, so my practice as a musician does not exist, but my practice as a filmmaker, these wonderful musicians here have really helped dislodge me from wanting to move in a straight line. I'm struggling, but trying very hard to find circles, to find spirals within this structure. So it's been really quite incredible. So thank you so much to everybody who sort of made this happen. And of course, very, very, very warm hello to this audience that is privy to these amazing people working so hard for 4 years. So thank you.
There is, what shall I say, there's an after party of some kind. Please feel free to talk with each other. Lots of wine, says Johnson. Thank you to Hanart for putting this on. And thank you all for coming. I'm really privileged to see people that I don't usually see. Thank you all in particular. And it's been very, very good to see you all. I'd love to thank Kun. Omkar, 1 second, coming up, Omkar. I would like to thank Kun and his team. You've been with us through the journey. Thank you so much. You've really helped out. A very special thanks to Holly Leung, my new colleague, who has made all of this happen. So thanks to her. I think Omkar wants to have a word. So he will have the last word. Omkar is also my teacher, by the way. So he has to have the last word. Yes, Omkar.
Thank you. I'm talking on behalf of all the musicians from India. I'm very, extremely grateful to Zangi, Zilai, and Ip Kim Ho. You also gave us immense opportunity to know your music and learn. We have learned a lot from you. Please accept our gratitude, if Bindu and Rutuja wants to say. We are very grateful to Zangi, Zilai, and Kim Ho for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
and I'll add U5 to the list because what we probably didn't get to hear was that as 2019 experiment, we sent him melody, he sent us back his poetry, and then we again reimagined it in our respective languages and sang that. So that is another step of experiment and exploration, and U5 has been extremely courageous and bold and adventurous with us. So, and of course these three lovely musicians, thank you all. And I'm sorry, but I just realized we are 7 musicians, and Saath also means 7. So yeah, it's just a little trivia.
So I think with that, we will say good evening to those in India, and good afternoon to Abu Dhabi, and good night to our friends in Shanghai and Beijing. Thank you all. Thanks very much to Chernin of West Heavens, who's been with us through this journey also and has helped today with the translation. So goodbye all. I'm sure it will not be the last time we'll be together. Saath-Saath. Bye-bye.